Alright, hey guys, Pax, welcome back to another Pokemon Pocket video. As the title states, a new trailer for the booster set has finally been leaked, and as you can see, Johto themed. A huge dub for all the Johto fans out there. Very excited, honestly one of my favorite gens, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate. So I'm going to play the trailer in a bit, and then afterwards we're just going to go over the new cards that were revealed. A lot of interesting cards were revealed, and yeah, disclaimer, as you can see, the quality is kind of bad. Kind of similar to when the Triumphant Light booster set was kind of leaked a few days in advance on TikTok. This was leaked on YouTube from the official Italian Pokemon Pocket page. So yeah, please excuse the low quality, but yeah, let's get right into this. So I'm just gonna play the trailer, and afterwards look at the cards. Okay, yeah, so that was the trailer right there. Very promising. They didn't reveal that much, but with the amount that they have revealed, it is very interesting because it looks like they're adding special energy, which is pretty huge. If you guys don't know special energy, it's there's a lot of them in the TCG, so we shall see how they tweak it for Pokemon Pocket. They act as somewhat of a buff for cards that require multiple energy, which is huge for a lot of cards revealed in this booster set, as well as dragons. So we should see how they tackle that. And yeah, I'll be using the website Pokemon Zone. I'll leave the link to this website in the description below. Very helpful, and as you can see, they kind of compiled all the new cards that we have seen. And yeah, we're just gonna go down the list. Very promising. As you can see, Chikorita, Cyndaquil, Totodile. At least one of these are gonna be an EX. There's no way at least one of these final evolutions of these Pokemon are not an EX. So I'm very excited, dude. I'm so excited to see Feraligatr. Hands down one of my favorite Pokemon. But yeah, we're just gonna go down the list. So the first card, Lugia. Oh my gosh. Look at this guy. Also, keep in mind, take these translations with a grain of salt. Again, it's translated from Italian, as well as being pretty bad quality, in my opinion. Like, the quality is pretty abysmal. So the cards in the description may change once it comes out. And yeah, as you can see, the title for this booster set is The Way of Sky and Sea. Again, kind of a rough translation, could change in the future. Yeah, Lugia, HP 150, colorless, and yeah, basic, of course. Elemental Fury does 180 damage. Discard a fire energy, water energy, and lightning energy from this Pokemon. So after attacking, you just discard 3 energy. That's like, yeah, okay, 3 different types of energy. Okay. Looking at this on paper, yeah, it's... what am I looking at? I feel like this is very similar to Dragonite EX. However, just looking at this, requiring 3 energy. On paper, this looks unrunnable in the current state of the game. But again, well, we are getting special energy, most likely. Like, there's no way. Like, at this point, it's basically confirmed. Yeah, pretty nice. We shall see how this performs, how fast this will be to play. But for now, this is all we can see. Like, yeah, this is very interesting. It really depends on the special energy card that they add. Like, this guy could easily be an S tier card, depending on that trainer card, like depending on that special energy. So looking at this, I mean, overall pretty nice damage. I mean, if you can get him out fairly fast and you can do 180 damage, you could really just mess up your opponent. I'm assuming you're probably going to play him towards the mid to late game, because you could run him with Ho-Oh, as you can see later on. But yeah, this is very interesting. Next card we're going to be going over, of course, is Ho-Oh right here. HP 150, very similar. Phoenix Turbo, 80 damage, requires 3 colorless energy. Attack ability, take a fire energy, a water energy, and a lightning energy from Energy Zone and attach them to your basic Pokemon in any way you like. Interesting. So, wow. So you get 3 energy just out of the bat like that. That's pretty interesting because, again, good synergy with Lugia. So it seems like you want to kind of run both of them. The only main downside is this guy requires 3 colorless energy. So getting him fully built is kind of difficult. But again, special energy, I'm assuming they're going to add something that has pretty good synergy with Ho-Oh. But overall, pretty nice. So looking at this, I'm assuming you want to run Ho-Oh towards the mid, like the early game. And then kind of like the mid to late game, switch into Lugia. And then Lugia just dominates with those 3 energy. Again, hard to form opinions currently Yeah, it really depends. I feel like it's way too early to tell. I mean, just looking at like Giratina and Gyarados, when those cards were first announced, community reception wasn't that positive. A lot of people thought that's not going to be as meta. And then looking back, both cards did dominate the meta, and even Giratina is still somewhat meta to this day. But currently, special energy aside, this doesn't look that great. Like, yeah, so we shall see. Again, special energy has to be huge to make this guy viable. If you go first and you're going against Savali, you're pretty much screwed. Your opponent's Savali can do 200 damage on their third turn if they go second. So yeah, this is not that great, but yeah, again, I'm very optimistic. A lot of hopium that we're gonna get a broken special energy. Anyways, next cards, Chikorita, Cyndaquil, Totodile. So their attacks are very straightforward for basics. Like nothing really too special. As you can see, it's kind of blurry, but yeah, very similar. It looks like they could do like what, 20, 30 damage. Again, really hoping, come on, man. I want a Feraligatr EX. We really do need that. Totodile was my first starter Pokemon in any Pokemon game, so please, I'm just asking. I really want the Xena. Please make this happen. When it comes to Cyndaquil, I mean, Typhlosion got cancelled, so I don't know if he's going to get an EX, but he probably will. And then when it comes to Meganium, I mean, yeah, she's there, pretty nice. And looking at the next card right here, we got Pichu, first baby Pokemon in the game that's been revealed. And looking at this, the whole thing about baby Pokemon is that it's very interesting because they require no cost. However, very frail, so HP 30, basic, Sparkling Throw. Take an energy from your discard pile and attach it to one of your bench Pokemon. Interesting, so you want to play this card, what? Okay. You want to play him kind of like towards the mid game. Maybe I'm just missing something, but that looks pretty bad because you do want to have discarded energy already. And this guy is 30 HP. So if you play him towards the mid game, he's probably gonna die. Like, yeah, I mean, on the bright side, his attack does require new energy. So that free energy could win you the game, potentially. But at the same time, I mean, yeah, pretty frail. There is a chance that it will survive, depending on your opponent though. So I'm very curious on how this will synergize with cards in general, because it is a lightning energy card. And also if there's going to be a Pikachu that probably comes out from this, because usually when there's like a basic card, they include the evolution of that Pokemon. But okay, this is pretty interesting. Again, it's very hard to form opinions currently, because looking at this, it seems like a huge liability. Like it's a free point essentially, and really depends on what kind of deck you're running. Like if you're running a lot of EXs, you might be cooked. You might be cooked after this guy dies. Next card, Cleffa. Interesting. So again, pretty frail. Sparkling Call. Take a random Pokemon from your deck and add it to the cards in your hand. Nice. That's pretty cool. Very similar to Shiinotic. Like looking at Shiinotic, if you guys don't know, Shiinotic's ability is basically that. Once during your turn, you may put a random Pokemon into your from your deck into your hand. Very similar. This one's pretty good because yeah, no cost. And this is nice because you can play this guy your first turn. So you can just play him first turn and then use Sparkling Call, draw cards that you need. So this is, yeah, I can very much see decks that run this and Solgaleo. So this is going to be very interesting. I feel like a Giant Cape might be a must run in some of these scenarios because again, 30 HP, your opponent can potentially kill this Pokemon their first turn if you do go first. But so far, I really do like this Pokemon. Like it's very high risk, high reward, very similar to Manaphy, but Manaphy only has, keep in mind, has 50 HP. This guy has 30. And again, drawing cards, this is going to be a menace. This is going to make it so that your opponent wants to attack as fast as possible. And you get huge value if they don't attack. So this is very anti-stall deck in my opinion because, yeah, you're getting huge value. So either your opponent has to kill or just red card or Mars you just to mess you up. Next card, this is, okay, this is cool. So we got a Gyarados, a red Gyarados, making his Pokemon Pocket debut. Furious Slashing does 20 damage. And you may discard any number of Pokemon from your bench. This attack does 40 damage for each bench Pokemon you discarded in this way. I don't know if he's going to be good in this meta, but I can very much see this card being somewhat viable in future metas to come. Because I can easily see them adding a Pokemon card that has an effect where like once this card is discarded, it does something. Like imagine they add a card where like it's like once this card is discarded, you do like what, like 50 damage to your opponent or something like that. If they add that, this will be instantly broken. I don't know if they have something similar to that in the TCG. I know, like, I mean, like, just looking at Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a lot of effects like that, where, like, once this card is in the graveyard, it does something, like, it has an effect that you could use in the graveyard. And that would be huge if they start adding cards like that in Pokemon Pocket, because this guy discard any number of Pokemon cards, so it can have some pretty good synergy. But by just looking at this right now, you can do 140 damage. 140 damage, which is pretty huge. Again, for a non-EX, depending on what cards they add in this booster set, this is pretty nice. Only requiring 2 energy, HP 130 as well. Yeah, this is very interesting. And also, it is a shiny, and this is very interesting because usually shinies in this game are reprints. Meaning that like a main example here is like looking at Greninja, night and day. It's very similar to basically, again, kind of like a reskin. This is kind of why a lot of competitive players don't like shinies, is because essentially it's just all a reskin. It's all aesthetic. But looking at this is a new card. So this is pretty cool. We finally got a new shiny in this game, and this is Red Gyarados. This is the Red Gyarados from the game. Very excited, and yeah, given that it is a unique ability given that it is a unique attack, I can't wait for this. Next card, Umbreon EX. Stage 1 Eevee, of course. Ability Shadow Tag. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you may switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon that has damage on it with their active. So essentially a Cyrus. For an ability. A lot of potential. Oh my gosh, yeah, dude, this guy is gonna be a nightmare. This is pretty nice too, because I feel like Darkness in general was kind of slowly getting phased out. I mean, sure, there's Guzzlord and Nihilego decks, but yeah, there hasn't been like anything like that. Deck is pretty good, but in my opinion, there are far better decks. But looking at this, yeah, this is gonna be a menace. Holy crap, this ability, man. And when it comes to damage, Darkness Fang, 80 damage, requires 2 energy. Pretty straightforward, pretty decent in my opinion. But yeah, ability Shadow Tag. This guy's gonna be a menace towards the mid to late game. If your opponent summons this guy on the bench, that's like your main priority at that point, if this guy is out, is to kill this Pokemon, because the amount of value that Shadow Tag gets, oh my gosh. Yeah, I can see a lot of decks already. Like Umbreon, Greninja decks, you're definitely gonna see that, because Greninja, Water Shuriken, do 20 damage to any of your opponent's Pokemon, target the bench. Umbreon uses Shadow Tag, and your opponent really stands no chance. So this is an insane combo. Greninja and Umbreon, this is gonna be, I can already see that deck. That's gonna be a very meta deck. Very sweaty to go up against, but at the same time, I mean, yeah, this guy is just a GOAT. This guy came out when the game came out, and he's still meta relevant to this day. That's pretty huge. And yeah, given that this synergy, this might put Darkness decks on top again. This is pretty good. Next card, Espeon EX. HP 140, ability Care. This guy cares. Once during your turn, if your Pokemon is in the active spot, you may heal 20 damage from one of your Pokemon. Okay, pretty good. Pretty nice heal. Just looking at this, okay, yeah, Super Psy, 80 damage, requires 2 energy. Looking at this, I feel like Umbreon is the better evolution in this pack. Like, hands down, this guy is gonna be huge. And then looking at Espeon, I mean, healing is pretty good. Like, it could definitely save you. But again, it's very situational. And when it comes to Umbreon, I mean, Shadow Tag, I feel like there's going to be a lot more situations where that's going to be more viable. Whereas for Espeon, depending on your bench, if your bench Pokemon sustained a lot of damage, healing 20 might not really mean that much. Healing 20 could help you a lot, and not to mention, you could heal yourself. So pretty nice. I mean, I can definitely see like Espeon EX and Sylveon EX decks. I feel like that's a pretty good pairing right there. We shall see. Again, it's very hard to form opinions this early right now. But looking at this, I mean, all I could really say is that Umbreon is the clear better evolution from this pack. I could be wrong, but it's very unlikely. Like Shadow Tag, again, this thing is huge. The value with this ability is huge. All right, so we're getting into the trainer cards right here. So next card, Lyra. Lyra, choose one of your Pokemon, shuffle it, and all cards attached to it into your deck. Again, the translations are kind of rough. Again, looking at this, it's very hard to translate. Like, yeah, this is pretty blurry quality. So again, some of these descriptions could, once the trailer comes out in HD, this feels very similar to, so I'm assuming like just looking at this, you kind of want to play this card when your active Pokemon or one of your Pokemon is about to die. Like say you have 2 Pokemon on your field, your opponent has 2 points, your active Pokemon is pretty tanky, can tank attacks. However, your bench Pokemon is very frail and can just get one-shotted. In that scenario, your bench Pokemon is a liability because your opponent can just Sabrina and just like, yeah, just win the game with that. So to counteract that, you could Lyra to basically get rid of that bench Pokemon. Yeah, either that or like, again, if your active Pokemon is rather frail and you want to get rid of it, you could do that. Very similar to Elima. Elima only works with colorless Pokemon that have done damage onto it. So interesting. Yeah, I can very much see Lyra paired with, for now, I can very much see Lyra paired with baby Pokemon, because again, baby Pokemon are a huge liability. So after like a turn or maybe even 2 turns with that Pokemon on the active spot, you might want to just Lyra to get rid of it. Because yeah, just having a baby Pokemon on the field for too long is a huge liability if you don't evolve. But we shall see how prominent Lyra will be, because I mean, yeah, she could definitely be like another Looker situation. If you guys don't know Looker, I mean, debatably one of the worst trainer cards that came out. Yeah, that's up. Yeah, this Looker, just always looking. Just that's what he does. Next card, we got Silver. remove a special energy from one of your opponent's Pokemon. Okay, yeah, again, take this with a grain of salt because it is one, it's a translation, and two, look at its quality. I mean, I'm sure there's probably better qualities out there, but yeah, this, damn. Okay, so this given this description, it definitely does confirm special energy. That's pretty huge, and that's a pretty nice balance because I mean, special energy could be very overpowered. It could be very much just meta changing, just like game changing overall. So it's pretty nice that they did add a counter to special energy in the same booster set just to balance things out. Next card, we got a shoe. We got an energy shoe. If the Pokemon this card is attached to is switched with your active Pokemon, deal 30 damage from that Pokemon. Okay. Very nice. Very situational. Once again, just looking at this Poke tool. Pretty good. I mean, you are healing 30, so paired with like PC Lady, you could heal 70. And then with Lily, you could heal 90 in a turn. So yeah, pretty nice. Currently, I can see this card having a lot of good synergy with Buzzwole EX. As for Buzzwole EX, the whole way to play that card is that you want to always like, once it's out, after attacking, you want to switch it out with your bench and then switch it back in. And then doing that should trigger this card's effect. So that's pretty interesting. And then last but not least, we got Elemental Switch. Item card, move a Lightning Energy and a Fire Energy from your Pokemon to your active Pokemon. Okay, I'm assuming this is supposed to say bench Pokemon. Okay, pretty cool. Essentially kind of like a Dawn, but specifically for one lightning and one fire energy. It seems like you do kind of want to run this with Lugia and Ho-Oh because Ho-Oh is more flexible, requiring 3 colorless. However, looking at Lugia, this is not good, but Lugia, yeah, Ho is feeding Lugia, which is pretty nice. And again, depending on the special energy, you could probably pair this with said special energy, so you could do that. You can use that special energy card, use Elemental Switch to get Ho basically fed. So yeah, this looks very interesting, and yeah, that's basically all the cards that were revealed. Again, this is, take this with a grain of salt, because again, one, it's a translation, and two, the quality is fairly bad, so yeah, things are subject to change, especially with the name, but for now, the name is The Way of Sky and Sea. And yeah, hopefully you guys are as excited as I am. I might not sound excited, but I actually very am. Albeit I just woke up, and also I'm actually so hungry right now, like insanely hungry. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully you found it kind of informative. And again, and consider liking and subscribing so you don't miss out on Pokemon Pocket content. When new content gets dropped, I'll definitely be covering those. And just looking at this, very interesting. Again, looking at baby Pokemon, shiny Pokemon, and just legendaries, there's a lot of potential. There is a lot of potential, but at the same time, I mean, like, yeah, there's a lot of potential for good and also bad. Like, Ho and Lugia could be basically unrunnable once they come out, but it really depends on that special energy. However, I do like how you do want to run them both together. I feel like that's pretty nice to have that. Anyways, yeah, that's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Peace.